Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer, and I just recorded yesterday's video, so I'm still a little bit emotional. This week's been kind of weird. It's been emotional. It's been eye-opening. It's been a lot of things. But we're gonna try to just keep plugging forward and keep doing what we gotta do. I'm actually sitting here recording this while Mr. Cinnamon is cooking dinner. I have a broken leg, in case you have missed yesterday and the day before's video. I have a broken leg. We got some stressors happening. I'm either upstairs or I'm downstairs, and without help I'm stuck in those positions. So because I'm stuck downstairs until after dinner, because I want to sit at the table and eat with my family, because I haven't since I broke my leg a week ago. So I'm sitting here and waiting for dinner to be done, and luckily for me, this chair has a leg rest so that I pull it out and I can prop my leg up if I need to, but also my scooter is right there, and my scooter is a perfect leg rest. So with that, I wanted to come on today because I was having kind of a rough week last week, which is so ironic because I thought I was having a rough week, and then I broke my leg, and then it got really rough. So it's kind of like the universe was like, you thought that was rough, wait, and then I can't even remember what was so rough about the week prior to everything from this week. And I tell you all that because I'm not trying to harp on it. I'm not trying to focus on the bad, but because of that, Mr. Cinnamon bought me more yarn. Because he feels helpless, and I totally just bit my tongue. He feels helpless, and he's trying in any way that he can to just make me feel better or feel happy and feel less worried and feel less stressed and to feel joy. And he doesn't know how to do that other than to buy stuff for me, and he's been like that for a long time. And I love him for it. I appreciate him for it. So how this yarn came about. Last week, me and Juju went to a thrift expo, and I had a budget set aside for the thrift expo that was not couch money, I was just gonna go, and I was gonna maybe buy myself another Cabbage Patch doll if I found one at the thrift expo. I was gonna maybe, pay for a new tattoo on my wrist for me and her. I had money specifically set aside for this thrift expo. The thrift expo was a bust. She didn't see anything she wanted. I didn't really see anything I wanted until I happened upon a yarn vendor. And I've showed this a couple of times already, but it's the Wild Hair in Front Royal, Virginia. And I was able to score not at thrift prices. Her daughter was at the thrift expo as a craft vendor. There were a few craft vendors there. There was a lady who made crochet bongs. She had a bunch of crocheted bongs. There was a lady that had crocheted halter tops for little small people. It was a weird mix of vendors. And I saw the smallest little section of yarn because she had did the Shenandoah Fiber Festival the weekend before. She did not bring her entire stock. She just brought a couple in case. And when I saw what she had, I snatched it up. So I have shown this in the past. This is her hand dyed, this is her hand spun. In love with both of them. Then after that, we weren't there very long because they didn't have a whole lot that she wanted to look at. Like, a lot of it was garbage clothes. Like clothes that should be recycled somehow at boutique prices, almost like boutique thrift store, not like boutique, but like boutique thrift store prices. So they had shirts from like the 80s for like 25 bucks. I'm like, that's a brand new t-shirt. What are you doing? I didn't get it. But there was a bunch of trendy people there, and that's all they were about, right? Like, whatever. Don't know that I will go again because I found yarn, but I mean, there wasn't a whole lot going on. She didn't really find a whole lot, and she didn't want to go home after the event. So I was like, well, let's go to a thrift store. What's thrift store's closest? And she's all, well, St. Vincent de Paul. I was like, well, let's go over there. I like St. Vincent de Paul, And as we're walking through St. Vincent de Paul, I was complaining. I was like, I used to come here all the time to get craft supplies, and they have not had any craft supplies in forever. It's been a couple of years. It's almost like they stopped collecting yarn. And I used to be able to very reliably find yarn from there. And I was complaining within earshot of the people that were working there. And I don't know if that had anything to do with anything, but they stopped talking when they heard me say that, and then went back to talking when I stopped talking. We left. I bought a couple of really cute things. I got a vintage Mickey Mouse plate that is hand painted from 1977. And then I got a painting, it's on wood, of pumpkin face creatures with a moon that had a face. It was very 1960s type scary pumpkin, like creepy but cute. I love the aesthetic of it. It was like $3. So I was happy, you know. I follow my favorite thrift stores on Facebook. Like, when you have a store you like, follow them, because you'll find, if even as a thrift store, search them out, see if they're on social media, follow them. Because sometimes, that's often how I find out about stuff. So, last week, I don't remember what day it was, but I knew I had the eye doctor appointment coming up. And I knew I was scared because of it, because if you didn't watch Monday's video, I lost vision. Like, I went dark in one of my eyes a couple of times. And it's scary, and it's a lot to deal with. The idea of possibly going blind, and then, you know, just stressed out about that, not realizing how bad it really could have been. So it was the day before, and I was just having anxiety, and I was stressed out. And I'm scrolling through Facebook, and St. Vincent de Paul posts a picture that they got some amazing wools in stock, and it's Hank's. And they posted it an hour after they closed for the day. And I'm like, why would you post that after you closed? I was like, I just really need to go there. And so the next day was my appointment. Mr. Cinnamon was home to take me to my appointment. And he's all, is there anywhere you want to go? I was like, I would really like to go to St. Vincent de Paul. I would really like to go to St. Vincent de Paul and see about that yarn. I said, I don't have money to spend. I'm not supposed to be buying yarn, but he's all, come on, let's just go see what they got. And so we went over there. He's all, you buy whatever you want. I will buy it for you. That way you're not technically breaking your ban. And he's trying to cheer me up. And so I was like, okay. And so when we got there, the wool was beyond what I expected it to be. Because from the pictures, it looked like that really rough, undyed white yarn. It was so much more than that. So, what I picked out. Now, these prices that are on here are not the prices we paid, because they marked it one price and then put a tag on the table, 50% off of their prices for everything on that table, which was all the wool. So they had Knit Picks Chroma worsted. You see it's marked at $50 for 5 balls. And this is the color Urban. This is 70% wool, 20% nylon, 198 yards. They actually had 7 balls of this. You guys know I love colors. I have never used this. I have had very little experience with Knit Picks, so when I saw this, I was like, that is a perfect excuse to use Knit Picks yarn for something, so I could see if I like Knit Picks or not. Because I have all the Knit Picks yarn I've ever had, I've gotten at the thrift store. So because it was marked $50, it was half off. It was $25 for 5 balls, and before I agreed to buy this, or have Mr. Cinnamon buy it at $25, I was like, you need to look up and see how much these cost. These are $13 a ball. So 5 for $25 is actually a really good deal. And they had 2 that were loose, not in this package, and they were marked. I don't know what they were marked at, but I picked one up and I felt it, and I was like, okay, that's not bad. Like, I can work with that. It's not terrible feeling. And I'm really sensitive to certain wools. Like I have to have a soft wool. I have to have like a decent feeling wool. So I think, I don't remember what this felt like because this was last week, but absolutely just beautiful and not bad for $25. Then I grabbed this one because it was sparkly. This is Sweet Georgia. It was marked $15. So I paid, well, Mr. Cinnamon paid $7. It's glitterati sock. It's 63% superwash merino, 20% silk, 15% nylon, 2% glitter. It's 420 yards. It's the color Dreamboat, hand dyed in Canada. And it's, give my camera a minute. There we go. It's a soft gray with a sparkle. And I have yarn very, very similar to this. I don't remember where I got it from, but I know that it feels like the same yarn. And I think I got it from, I want to say I got it from Knit Crate. So I have a little bit of that, and I'm positive that it's really close to the same color. And like I said, it's glittery, so it will go with something else beautifully. So there's that. And then I got this one because it reminded me of chickens. And I was thinking, okay, but is it blasphemy to make chickens out of wool? I don't know, but I had to have it. So this is also Knit Picks. This is Knit Picks Provincial Tweed. It was marked at $13, so I paid $6.50. And it's worsted weight. It is 250 yards. The color is Pumpkin Pie. It is 80% superwash fine Highland wool and 20% Donegal tweed, not weed. And it's a perfect Halloween color. It's just, it made me happy. I don't generally reach for oranges, like at all. But this reminded me of a chicken. And it's very Halloween. It also could be like falling leaves. So I don't know what I'm going to make with it because it's not a lot of yarn. It's only 250 yards. So whatever I make, I'm going to have to probably knit it. Or else it's not going to go very far unless I make a chicken. This will absolutely make a chicken. But I just kind of fell in love with that. And this is so squishy soft. Did I tell you what it was? I did, because I said weed. Alright. Isn't that pretty? And then these two beautiful things. Again, so silky soft. Just luscious. This is Tanis Fiber Arts. These were $22 each, so I paid $22 for both of them. It is 75% merino. Hang on, one has a sticker over it. 15% cashmere, 10% silk. It is 4 ounces, 420 yards, and these are made in Canada. And this says Club May 17 Flocks. So I think this was part of a club, like a yarn club or something. Absolutely. Look at these colors, blues and purples. This kind of reminds me of Carrie Penny from the Happy Crafty Homemaker. A little bit of pink in there. Is this not gorgeous? And it is so luscious feeling. Like if you had me rub this with my hands and you did not tell me that it was wool, I would think it was nylon or something. Like it's so soft. But yeah. So they had way more than what I purchased. I was very conservative with what I purchased. There were other ones that I really, really wanted as well, but I was like, I'm not in here trying to blow all of our money. Actually, it's his money, but I was not trying to blow a bunch of money. And I know he was trying to cheer me up, and I bought just enough to cheer me up, and it cheered me up so much. So what I've been doing when I'm buying these yarns is my goal is to actually use some of the higher end yarns that are in my stash. And I've been doing that when I'm getting new, I'm immediately trying to cake it up so that it is available, because one of the main reasons I don't use the hanks is because they're in a hank, and in order for me to use them, I got to go cake them up, and then it's a whole process, and so I don't like caking them up. So I've been caking them up when I bring them home so that I know that I will use them faster, and it's been working, which is why I made this beautiful hat and why I'm working on the shirt that I showed you guys on Monday, because I'm caking the stuff up, and I'm like, all right, well, let's keep this going. We're going to keep caking stuff up so that we can keep using it. And it's helping me to reach my goals of, by the end of the year, using up the yarn that I have wanted to use, and I keep holding on to it. I have used enough of my Koigu hanks that I actually have a hole in my Koigu shelf that would probably fit 4 regular skeins of yarn, like acrylics. That's how much of the Koigu I have used. So I have probably used 300 grams of it, which is quite a bit, because each one of these are 25 grams. So I've used quite a bit. So I'm proud of myself, and that's why I let him purchase that yarn for me. Also, I was feeling really crummy, and I really wanted to cheer me up. And he knows what makes me happy. He really does. And I'm not going to feel guilty over that. I'm doing really good. I'm not purchasing like I was purchasing, and I'm meeting goals that I've been wanting to meet. And I'm proud of myself for that. It's not easy to have such a deep passion and love for your art and your craft, and yarn specifically makes me so happy. It's not easy to be going through difficult things and not have that to lean on, to not be able to like purchase those beautiful things and like, you know, constantly give yourself that high of getting new yarn all the time. It's not easy. And he's just making it a little bit easier for me, a little bit at a time. I think that entire bag was like $60. I think it might have been 65 at the most, but that was 5 donuts of yarn and 4 hanks. That's a killer deal. That's like really good price. When I went in there, there was a little bit of sticker shock, so I was like, $22, and this is a thrift store. But then, like, I already knew in my head that it was 50% off, and it was marked. I was like, I mean, $11? Yeah, I'll pay $11. When I went to that one really cool sale in Richmond, right before Juju's prom, remember I told you they were having a yard sale? I had no idea they were having it. And I got hanks like that for $10, $15. That is a really good deal. Like, if you see that deal and you like that kind of yarn, like, snatch it up, because you're not going to see that very often. And I just got a comment the other day when I was showing these, and I said I got these at the Thrift Expo. Some lady commented, not some lady, one of you guys commented, and she's all, I never catch deals like that at the thrift store. And I was like, well, this wasn't at thrift prices at all. Like, I haven't found anything in a while at the thrift store. And then this deal popped up at St. Vincent de Paul. Now, this is the St. Vincent de Paul in Fredericksburg. I don't know what they will still have by the time this video airs, but I mean, it's worth checking out. They had really beautiful yarns in there. And honestly, if I had the money, I would have just bought all of it. They had a yarn that was a light gray, almost like the gray I showed you, but it was soft like the purple one I showed you. And it had like really soft pastel-y speckles on it of like pinks and blues, and it was gorgeous. And there was 2 of them, and they were in 2 different baskets, so I paired them up and I put them together for whoever came on that would discover them both. Hopefully they go somewhere together and get put in a project together. Those are the 2 I regret leaving behind. There was a lot of, I want to say Queen City. I'm not familiar with that brand, but there was a lot from, I think, Queen City. There was at least 20 skeins from Queen City, so I don't think that would have sold real fast, because I don't know that word would have got out because I actually did go back and they were closed, because apparently they're only open like 3 or 4 days a week now. And I wanted to go back and get those other ones, but they were closed. They still had some on the table. I just didn't really get out and look, because my leg was broke at this point, and Mr. Cinnamon took me back because he was going to buy me yarn to make me feel better for having my leg broke. And they were closed, so It is what it is. I think it wasn't meant to be for me to buy more, or have him buy more for that matter, but I was really excited to be able to go and get some of that yarn and have him pay for it. Like, that really did help. And yeah. And now with all the extra costs of all this medical crap coming up, I'm still going to try to get my couch at the end of October, but we're going to have to wait and see because my little scooter was expensive and like... I'm just grateful that we both have an income, because in case you don't know, Mr. Cinnamon works for the government, and there's been talk for weeks about the government shutdown, and this happens to us every year. And there's been times where they're like, all right, government shuts down, you don't get paid for a month, you know. And as of right now, like, everything is okay. We both have money coming in, and like we're happy, we're set, everything is fine. And I'm just so incredibly grateful for all of that. I'm so grateful for that, because right now there's no worries about anything when it comes to that. But I don't know why I even brought that up. So anyway, yeah. I tried to, when me and Juju went to the Thrift Expo, I tried to get her to drive us up north to Savers, because Savers always has yarn. Savers is like Value Village or Value World up north. It's very similar. I don't know where Savers is, because I don't think there's a Savers in Michigan. Because in Michigan, we have Value World, which used to be Value Village. And that was like, it's still my favorite thrift store, because they have just so much random stuff. Like, you literally... I was looking for a shower chair for the shower, okay? And I know for a fact, if we lived in Michigan, if I went to Value World, they would have a shower chair. Okay, yes, it would be used, but I could clean it up and put a towel on it, sit on it, and feel comfortable with that. So I was like, well, I don't know what thrift stores out here would have them. Maybe Savers would, but Savers is up north. That's like a drive. I ain't driving 45 minutes for a shower chair. And having like the cost of like all the co-pays for the eye doctor, the specialist, the hospital for my leg, the cost of the scooter, the cost of, you know, everything adding up. I didn't want to buy a shower chair on top of that. So I'm like, well, maybe we could try, I don't remember what thrift store I had him stop at, but they didn't have one. And so we just came home and we threw a folding chair in the shower and threw a towel over it. And that's how I was able to shower. My leg can get wet because my cast comes off. It's like a hard splint that goes around all sides of my leg. So I can shower without a problem, but I can't stand up in the shower. So I was like, I'm not paying for a shower chair on top of everything else. Especially, I'm not going to need it that long. Because she said that like 4 to 6 weeks I should be off my feet. But I really think I'm going to probably start putting weight on it in about 3 weeks. Hopefully I can. Hopefully I can. But my leg is really itchy underneath that stupid thing. So I'm trying to itch under it. So, alright, I just wanted to show you guys that really pretty yarn and tell you about my thrift haul. I don't know if Knit Picks still sell. Yeah, it's got to. Knit Picks has to still sell the chroma, because we were able to find it and see that it was $13. So maybe I'll do a review on the chroma for my own benefit, so I could tell you guys if I like it or not, and then tell you guys whether you should like it or not. Because I'm always open to having new yarn companies come across my lap. Because like I said, like, I have very rarely used Knit Picks, and when I have, it's been like a ball or two that I have found at a thrift store somewhere. And usually it's like the real tiny balls. So I actually may have a hank of Knit Picks somewhere in my hand-dyed yarns. I'll have to look. No, I'm not, because I can't get up there. Alright guys, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know what's going on the rest of the week. I'm exhausted. It's time for bed. And dinner ain't even been cooked yet. Well, Mr. Cinnamon's cooking right now. I'm going to go rest. I'm not going to edit these videos until like probably tomorrow. I'm going to do a little bit at a time. I don't know how else I don't know how the rest of the week is gonna play out. I don't know what's coming next. I can't really plan anything until I see what's going on for that day. And so I don't know if there's gonna be a video tomorrow. I'm gonna try. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sit at this desk tomorrow because tomorrow is Monday and that's my normal filming day. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it downstairs to sit at the desk to film. So I don't know what's happening for the rest of the week, but I'm just glad that you guys are here for the videos that I am able to make, and I'm just going to give myself a lot of downtime. I'm going to take this time to rest, keep my leg up, to stop it from swelling, because when I'm sitting in this position too long, I feel it starting to swell up again. And we're just going to play everything by ear and take it easy, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.